I wanted to talk today about the many versions of ourselves and bringing an observation to who, whom is leading us in any given moment. Uh, Versions of ourselves, not necessarily who is leading us externally, but which part of us, which voice is leading us from the inside, leading where our attention is landing, which means where our energy is going, which means it's probably guiding behaviors and actions and influencing the results of our lives. So I think about, I can observe in myself the many versions of me. I have the version of me that says, sell everything, buy a ticket around the world, homeschool the kids, and just go live, YOLO. We only live once. And there's the version of me that is on vacation and really just can't wait to get back to my computer and finish up the 55 emails and the project that I was working on, right? Same person, same day, even it can be. There's the person of me that feels like I'm really clear about what I want. I can be very boundaried around that thing. And then there's the part of me that feels like I'm messing up. Nobody likes me and I'm doing it all wrong, right? All in the same day, perhaps in the same vein of thought. There's the person of me that wants to have a lot of freedom in my schedule. There's the person of me that wants to work longer and get it all done and will get up early and stay up late. And it's all the same person. And we all have these different versions of ourselves, right? And so I think one of the things we can do in mindfulness is observe those things, name those things, greet those different aspects of ourselves instead of judging them, deciding which has more value, which is the right one, and shooting on ourselves for those things. So just saying, this is me. All of these things are me. All of these things are true. And what I want to do is really be thoughtful and intentional and mindful about who is leading the current decision pathway I'm on, right? So if there is a decision to be made or a project to complete or a hard conversation that has to happen, what I want to do is make sure maybe at that point that I'm observing this nobody likes me, I'm doing it all wrong person and keeping them in check and observing their thoughts and saying, thank you for all that you bring to the table. But I really want to guide this decision or this project with a more confident, boundaried leader part of me. And so what I'm going to do is then be observing that process as they both play in to what it is that I'm doing or saying. And I don't have to squelch this one. It's just to observe. Yes, I hear you. I know it's real. We want to be loved. We want to be liked. We want to get it right. And also, this is where I'm going to place my attention and my focus. So the only way we can really do that, well, what I should say is that's happening all of the time, right? Those aspects of us are guiding our decisions. And so what we're doing in mindfulness is simply bringing awareness to that. And then flexing that muscle in our brain, learning how to travel those neural pathways with more intentionality so that we are directing our intention on purpose. So part of our practice for that is to do what I like to call follow the leader. So follow the leader is us just going into our minds, going into our breath and working on just following our breath. So not guiding our breath, just following our breath. So we might find our breath is shallow. We might find it deepens a little. We might find we're holding our breath or we're breathing and our mind has wandered off into who knows what territory over and over again. And we just gently and lovingly bring it back and we follow the breath. We might use guides like inhaling, exhaling, holding breath, thinking, distraction. And we might just be able to visualize it depending on who you are and your strengths. So Let's do that. Let's build our ability to be mindful and observe the many beautiful, wonderful, purposeful aspects of ourselves and to be able to call them in as needed. So, with that, let's go ahead and close our eyes. You can also just take a soft gaze. Just feel yourself in this moment. You might find there's just a melting. That's what's happening for me right now. I'm melting, relaxing in. You might find there's an agitation, a busyness. You might find there's ease or there's struggle. And we're just welcoming it all. We're just simply observing. Look at me in this moment. Look at my mind. Look at my feelings. Look at me in this moment. Just welcoming it all. Even if it's contradictory. As you're doing that, allowing your body to really come into a intentional, mindful position. I found I had my feet crossed and up on my chair, so I'm going to land them on the floor pretty solidly. Feeling maybe the heels in the area by the pinky toes and the area by the big toe, just ground in. I'm going to purposefully bring my body over my pelvis, really allowing my spine to be straight, active, attentive, but also soft and flexible. So finding that point. I'm going to work to keep my ears over my shoulders and my shoulders down and into their sockets, lifting the crown of my head. And as I do that, I find my breath just automatically deepens. Yours might not. There's no correct pathway here. It's just observing. We're going to gently begin to direct our attention to our breath. I like to think of it like I'm jumping on to a roller coaster ride. The breath is the ride, and I'm just strapping in. What's this breath doing? Take notice of it. Follow along. It might be a visual experience or a visceral experience or a verbal experience. Notice how when we get quiet, our brains get pretty busy. And that's just part of our universal default resting state. It's normal. And our work is just to observe that and then get back on the ride of allowing our breath to guide our attention. That universal default resting state of ours will often have our brain jump into future scenarios or past scenarios. It might have us judging, running a constant commentary. It might be reminding you of what you are or are not. Things like, I'm not a meditator. Why am I doing this? I'm not good at this. This doesn't make any sense. This isn't working. When you hear that, you can just say, hello, brain. I'm going to return to my breath. Follow the leader. Notice who's leading you. Fear, mindfulness, anger, the people pleaser part, the adventurer, the introvert, the extrovert. Notice who's leading you. We are so many things. Staying with your breath, building our ability to observe, to be intentional, to build mindful and resilient brain pathways. Continue to return to your breath, following it along. What is it doing? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? I love this practice. Follow the leader. Who's the leader? As we begin to close this practice, we're going to follow our breath intentionally, maybe co-piloting together our attention and our breath by purposefully inhaling deeply through our nose and then slowly exhaling through our mouth. Doing that a couple more times at your own pace, staying right with it, feeling the intercostal muscles expand, those spaces between your ribs, hearing how maybe there's a little crick in your chair or your neck as you expand, and then release. One last time, co-piloting attention and breath. And slowly opening up your eyes and coming back together. Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you. Have a safe weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye.